Sheryl Crow is here, and And we were saying, does Sheryl remember coming in to see us before? And she said yes.
How can I forget?
Well, I know. It's an unforgettable experience, wasn't it? 9-time Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter and producer Sheryl Crow has sold more than 50 million records. Well, not records these days, CDs, downloads and all of that.
Yeah.
After breaking through 20 years ago with All I Want to Do.
Oh, my God.
That was 20 years ago.
I was 10 years old.
So
At a very early start. Yes, as you were too.
Yeah, I was 15. Sheryl has recently released her 8th studio album, Feels Like Home, and the first single from it, Calling Me When I'm Lonely. And you just heard Calling Me When I'm Lonely. And that is from the album. Feels Like Home is a slight departure from the music she's known for. I suppose it's a little bit of a trip back to your roots. I mean, you are a country artist and you're also a pop artist as well, right?
Well, you know, formats, all that stuff I can't really figure out, especially right now in America, because the country format in America is straight up pop songs, actually pop songs that sound like they were in the 90s. So I don't know. I really feel like my influences were like the Flying Burrito Brothers, Graham Parsons, Emmylou Harris, certainly the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Big time when they were going through their most country phase, like Let It Bleed and Exile and Derek and the Dominoes, all that stuff that had a country tinge, the band. Those were my big influences.
I never saw you as a country artist, though. Country influenced, I suppose. That was always
country
in the background.
influenced, yeah, but not maybe, you know. I mean, I think some of the Stone stuff is very, the way it's put together is very pop, but you definitely hear the country in it. So those were my big influences, and they are more, I think they're more present on this record than they've probably been since the early records.
When you first started out, who did you want to be?
Oh, I wanted to be Linda Ronstadt.
Did you?
Yes. In the cutoffs and the roller skates, looking in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
I wanted to look like her, definitely. Her, you know, I loved her. I loved Stevie Nicks. All those girls that could rock with the guys, I thought were awesome. And then I wanted to be Keith Richards.
But those gals, well, Keith, we can't speak for, really.
I'll tell you, if I'm still doing it at his age, that's pretty monumental, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm still doing it.
I was going to say that was a kind of LA thing, wasn't it? You know, the Stevie Nicks and that whole era. That was
definitely the California sound.
Yeah.
Linda, her band came straight from Texas, the Shilohs, which ultimately became the Eagles. But that was the California sound. But, you know, I listen to her and I think she sounds more country than anybody singing on country radio today.
Yeah.
And she just had a fantastic, both she and Stevie, crazy, awesome voices.
It's a great album. How long did it take you to put together?
Not that long. You know, I moved to Nashville right after I had breast cancer, and I went through treatment, and I built a studio over my barn full of horses and chickens, and we recorded over the course of probably 4 or 5 weeks, and it was done. And I really was, even though I live in Nashville, I was really content making that record with Nashville players and just wanting to kind of capitalize on my earliest influences. And Give It To Me, that is definitely straight out of the Linda Ronstadt, Emmylou Harris songbook. So that's probably my favorite on the record.
So you've pretty much done what you wanted to do on this album.
Yeah, it was
Nobody
great.
telling you maybe you should do this, do that?
No, I mean, there was no one around but us. We were like kids in a paint store. It was great. And I didn't even have a record deal. So it wasn't like I thought, okay, I got to be making hits because they're going to want singles. I didn't even have anybody. We just made the record and took it around to a couple of places, and Warner Brothers said, oh, you belong here. So that was it.
Now, over the past, I would say, 10 years or so, you've been up and down health-wise, as you mentioned just there. You're okay. You're perfectly okay.
Great, yeah.
And that's fantastic. I mean, that's great for people to know.
I have a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old, so I've got to stick around for a while.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
And are they well-behaved?
On most occasions, yes. They're the loudest kids. You can come down the hotel corridor, and you always know where my room is because they're so loud. We're the loud family.
They keep you busy,
I don't know why, but they speak at one volume. Like their whisper is a full-on yell.
And is there much TV for them to watch here? Their favourite shows?
We have not had the TV on at all.
Really?
They have this book full of airplanes, so they've been making paper airplanes, and they're boys. Like, they don't really want to stop and watch a TV show.
Oh, you didn't buy them one of those Delta planes, did you? Was it Delta you came on?
I don't know what we came on.
Oh, that's terrible that you don't know that.
I know. People just point me in the direction. And then I cuddle up with my blanket. I tell my kids it's time to go to sleep, and that's it.
Yes. I'm a pop star. Just tell me where to go.
Isn't that awful?
Yes.
It's terrible. I used to be able to navigate through an airport, and now I just look to my tour manager and say, what am I doing, and where am I going, and where are we landing?
That's not terrible. I'd like to travel like that one day.
Well,
Sheryl Crow's latest single, Calling Me When I'm Lonely, and the album Feels Like Home are both out now. We're going to play a couple of tracks from the album. So, as we normally do with artists, we say, well, what do you fancy? And then I say I fancy this, and then he says he fancies something else. But really, it's down to you, Sheryl, really. So you pick your favourite.
Well, my favourite on the record is Give It To Me.
Okay.
Then I'm going to let you guys pick.
Oh, I like the thing. Is it called We Ought to Be Drinking?
Yeah, We Ought to Be Drinking. That is the quintessential drinking song that resides on a country record.
It slides in all kind of cool, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's fun.
All right, we'll do that. Sheryl Crow, everybody.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much, Sheryl.
Thanks, you guys. Fun to be
See you
here.
next time. Do you remember us?
Yes, I do. Of course I do.
We remember you.
Yes. It's always fun to be here with you guys.
Thanks for downloading Steve Wright's Big Guests. Join Steve and the team weekdays from 2 on 88 to 91 FM, BBC Radio 2.